Welcome to the game.
Okay, so this is the Polyversal's Arsenal tool. After you get logged in, up here on the left, you'll have either manage your existing ones or you can start creating automatically. This is a really powerful tool, guys. So if you're unfamiliar with it or you want more information, open up your book to the pages that talk about building a tile and and follow along or as you go through it because it'll help answer your questions for you. But here, it'll show all of the tiles you've created. Um, and as you can see, I've made a few, but everything you have here, if you want to view one or go back and edit one, you can always do that here on the right hand side. Um, here's the tanker bug I was working on, and you can kind of see, where I was heading with that. Okay, but let's go ahead and create a new one because it's really easy. So all you do is up here, tiles, you hit create. It starts you with a new tile to start with. It always starts here on the stats tab. Not really sure why, because the first thing I always do is go put the images and give it a name. So I have a couple images that I liked, I thought would be really cool, from a Drop Zone Commander, a TT Combat model, and I have a couple pictures. So I will put those in. You can use the same picture, entirely up to you. You don't have to have a picture. I just like having a picture. Down at the bottom of each tab will show you the model as it currently is built. So all I've done was add pictures, and he's got base stats. So let's go back up here. Let's give it a name. And so the name is there, and you can see down here automatically it's already updated the name. And I have some flavor text that I also got off their website, and I'll add that here. Flavor text, this is your fluff. I'll add that there, and you can see that it automatically puts it in here. Now, if you're using light colored pictures, the white with the black outline might be a little difficult. You can easily go over here to invert, and you can invert all of that text if it makes it a little easier to see. Okay. You can also add your cut line. So this is where you would cut the tile out after you print it, is along that line. And you got different choice. Why would you have a white on a white? Well, if you have a black background picture, a white would probably be helpful. So there you go. It's just a cut line, just to help you find where you're going to cut this tile out. Okay, enough with that. Let's go to the stats. This is almost as important as your weapons, or as more important. Vehicle classification. Is he infantry, cavalry, or vehicle? He's a vehicle. I'm going to leave him as a class 3 heavy, but you have 5 different classes. Class 5 colossal if you wanted to bring in your titans. There you go, class 5 colossal. Mobility, he is a walker. He's got 2 legs, so he's going to walk. He looks pretty advanced, so I'm going to give him advanced technology. So what are you seeing over here happen on the right? The current cost of the model, the current movement, and the current evasion. So I'm looking at right now, I have a 14-point model. Let's add some armor to it and see what happens. So he's 14 points. His movement is 13 inches and his evasion is 12. So let's change let's leave that. Let's go ahead and add some armor. Let's make him armor 3. And you'll notice his point value went up by 3, but his movement went down. Okay. So the more you play around with this, your points cost, everything is updated automatically. So if I go down here and look, cost is 19. His evasion, his movement, and his targeting dice are all updated on the fly. Okay, so let's go ahead and change him back to an armor 3. Now, targeting and assault. So targeting is, he's got a lot of weapons here, so I'm going to assume that he's a pretty good shooter. I'm going to go with a D10. And this is the actual die you would roll for targeting. Assault, maybe not super assault, but he does have machine guns for anti-personnel. Maybe we'll make that a D6. So as of right now, our Minchit Walker is 21 points, moves 11 inches, and has an evasion of 12. Yeah, not too shabby. Let's go to abilities. Um, Now, in the book, it explains what all of these different things mean. I don't think I really want to add any of these to him at the moment. Could add jump jets if I wanted to. I'd just leave him as is. He's just a walker, standard walker, uh, advanced class 3 walker. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, this is all of the weapons. Now, there's a lot of things going on this page. So how do you read the weapon chart? This is the weapon. So autocannon 1 through 5, bombs 1 through 5, chem spray 1 through 5. It's just different levels of the weapon. This is the range of the weapon in inches. This is anti-personnel. That's the die you're going to use. And you'll notice that the die color coordinates with the actual dice in the game. D4s are blue, D6s are green. Makes it easy to know which die to grab. So anti-personnel, anti-tank, anti-air. The damage, if it's low damage, means you pick the low die, medium low die, medium high, or the high die. And the cost per targeting stat, I picked a D10 for his targeting stat. So this is what it's going to cost if I was to add an autocannon 4. It would cost 8 points. Now, if I just add it, it's a ground weapon, which means it can attack ground, anything ground. Or in buildings, things like that. But if I do anti-air, it can attack ground and aircraft, or it could be an anti-air only weapon. So it's ground, both, or air only. And like I said, I picked a D6 or a D10. If I go back to my stats, change my targeting to say a D6, come back over here, you'll see that the targeting stat D6 line is now highlighted. Okay, so it makes it very easy so you understand. If I pick an autocannon 5 with a D6, it's going to cost me 10. But if my targeting is a D12, it's going to cost me 14 points. So it helps balance out the different dice by the cost of the item that or the unit that you're trying to build. But I'm going to go back to my D10 for targeting, come back to my weapons, and you can see there's a lot of different weapons here to choose from. So there should be enough to at least cover the majority of your weapons that you'd want to run. Let's look at these over here on his left side first. He has, looks like 3 machine guns, 1 mounted on the body heading straight forward, and 2 on his left arm that would be able to swivel probably 180 degrees. So let's go add some machine guns. I have machine guns 1 through 5, all right here. And I'm thinking this is probably more, machine guns are more anti-personnel than they are anti-tank or anti-air. So let's go with an MG3. That'll give me a D8 in addition to his D10 for targeting. And if I'm attacking anti-personnel, he can still attack anti-tank with a D6, but it's not as good. This is really more of an anti-personnel weapon. So I'm going to add 1. And let's go set this one up. Now, we did show you that it was mounted facing forward. So I don't really need to change any of this right here. Because by default, you get 1. They're forward firing. You can always change it. And forward firing, mounted forward, I'm going to say it's only 90 degrees. So look at your firing arc here, and you'll know which way you can shoot. He had 2 others mounted on an arm. That arm swivels. So let's go down here. We'll add another one. And this plus here is for ground. That's just saying, hey, you're going to add a ground one. But you could always change it up here too. You can always add it here. So whether you click the button here, plus the plus with AA or the plus with AA, with only AA, you can always change it up here as well. Like I said, it's a really powerful tool, very well done. He's got 2 of those, so you just easily change that, and you'll notice your cost changed over here. Um, it's going to be on the left side, and I want to make it 180 degrees. So now that arm swivels all the way around 180 degrees on the left-hand side to ward off any ground troops heading his way or any infantry heading his way. Okay, on the right-hand side of this walker, you can probably see a little better on the second picture down here. He's got 3 pretty big, beefy-looking guns, all mounted on that arm. So, how do we want to do that? Well, what kind of a weapon do we think that is? It's probably more than a machine gun. Could be a railgun. Railgun would be a lot of fun. Those are anti-tank and anti-air. And since I didn't really put any I could make it anti-air, but we'll just leave it as is. We'll go, no, we could do both. Let's look at if we were to do a railgun 4. If I turn those into railguns, they are 45-inch range. The damage die is medium high. It's going to cost 13 for each one. There's 3 of them. So 39 points wrapped up in railguns on this one model. That's going to make him really, really expensive. Maybe we come back up here and we look at what else we got options for. I want this weapon to be more anti-tank, so I'm really looking at the center column of our dice here. So I'm looking at for anti-tank, something that's pretty decent. Could be plasma guns. Could make it a plasma gun. Let's do that. Or since they're all 3 identical, I mean, you could make all 3 different. You could. I think I'm just going to make them all 3 plasma 3s. Let's do that. We'll make them plasma 3s. And I just have to click this one time. Since they're all 3 mounted together, they're basically all going to fire together at the same target. So I've got 3 of them, and they are on the right side. And I could make it to where they can fire, all the way around, a little bit, or they could just be the 180 where they're only on the side. But that plays into the cost. So I don't know if you noticed, if you saw that over here, at 180 degrees, their cost is 4 apiece. If I change that to 270, their cost goes up. So the more powerful the weapon is, of course, the more points it's going to cost. And I could go 360, and that makes it 7 points each. I don't think I want to go 360, but I do want to go, let's make it 270. And again, it was on the right-hand side. So it'll cover everything except for that 90 degrees straight out the left-hand side where the machine guns are. So with that, these can only attack ground. But you know what? I want to make that with anti-air. So now he can attack aircraft. The cost went up 1, but he can do both ground. So he can attack anything with these plasma guns. But the range is only 10. So do I really want to add anti-air with a range of 10? Nah, I'll just stick with the ground. Okay, and with that, my tile is basically done. Always remember, once you're done with this, or you get to a point where you're ready, always save it. Because if you don't save it, it's not going to save. Believe me, that comes from experience. Okay, so once it tells you it's saved, then you can click View. Make sure you save before you try to view it. Again, that comes from experience. So now here's our tile. We have our assault D6, we have our targeting D10, our movement's 11 inches, our evasion is 12. He's got a machine gun mounted forward arc, which is this guy on the top left here. He's got 2 machine guns facing the left-hand side at 180 degrees. He's got 3 plasma 3s, 270 degrees on the right-hand side. And here's the different dice if I'm firing anti-tank, anti-personnel, does not have anti-air. Gives you the damage totals. And then this down here is the damage that he could take. So my 45-point model, if I wanted to make him veteran, all that's calculated here. If he's a mercenary, points are 39. If I make him command, it's 90 points. So again, really powerful tool, very easy to create tiles. And so then if I go back here, I click manage, and I go to my last tile, there he is. My Menchet Walker. His movement, evasion, gives you enough information here to see. So now I can go print it out. I can go play with it. I can see how he does, and maybe I want to come back later and say, you know what, that plasma gun really didn't do it for me. I want to change those plasma guns to an autocannon 4 because I need punch at a little more distance. Okay, so I'm gonna go and get rid of that. I'm gonna add an autocannon 4. He's got 3 of them. I want to give him the same range. It's coming out the right side. And I do want to go ahead and add, because my opponent brought in aircraft and I wasn't ready for it. So now my 45-point vehicle or model is now 60 points. And so you can easily come back in, change this around. Also, if you want to change the order of these, maybe I want that autocannon to show up first, just grab these little dots here on the side and drag it where you want it. Okay. But that, guys, that's an introduction to the tool. If you know specifically which weapon you're looking for and you want to add it really quick, I want to add a railgun. Bam! You can select that, hit it right there, and it'll automatically add it for you. Okay, but that's just a very quick, brief look at the Arsenal tool. Like I said, it is very easy and it's a lot of fun. I was looking at models online that I might want to order, and I started building tiles for them. And I was like, this is fun, silly, stupid fun, because it's just a lot of fun. It doesn't take long. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up and